everybody! Guess what? I've got another book haul. I have been to the library, the main library, twice, and both times I pulled some things out of the freebie box. The first time I only pulled out like 8 books, which I didn't think was too bad. Made a nice little stack. I thought, well, I just did a book haul, so I'm going to wait until I get a few more. Today was that day. I pulled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus a whole big bag full. Well, not that big of a bag, but a whole bag full. So, yeah. This bag full, plus 5 paperbacks. And of course, as soon as I start recording, my nose decides it's gonna... Okay. Again, I apologize for my weird camera angles. I still haven't figured out this camera yet. I'm working on it. I'm trying. Yeah, my hair is just kind of poof today. It's been rainy off and on, so the humidity is making what little bit of curl is in there go poof. Anyway, at least it's clean. I guess I'll start with the stack that's sitting here on the table, and then I'll switch to the stuff in the bag. This one is called The Violet Closet by Gary Gottsfeld. I guess that's how you say his name. You can see it there. I'm not entirely sure how it's pronounced, but that's how I think it is. The little blurb on the front says, a radio psychologist is severely shaken when a terrified young voice cries out for help. That sounds interesting. It says mystery on the side, so... To hurt, to kill, help me. These are the last words of little Alice calling into Rena Hallbrook's radio show. Blah, 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 blah. I don't want to read too much because I kind of want to go into it because it sounds thrillery, possibly. Got some more. I got all kinds of books. Okay. James Patterson, Zoo. I thought I had this, but I wasn't sure, so I went ahead and picked it up. If I've already got it, I can always put it back in the box for unhaul and send it back to the library because they're having a book sale coming up. They're actually doing Wednesday evening a couple hours, which is unusual. It's the first time they've done it that I'm aware of. So May 4th and 5th, and I think 6th. Wednesday night, Thursday morning, and I think they're doing Friday morning. They usually do Thursday and Friday. I think they need to do it on Saturday myself, but they don't ask me. This is basically about animals at the zoo going nuts and attacking people. There's a Zoo 2 that was one of the bookshop books, which maybe that's the one I have. I kind of feel like maybe that's the one I have. I know I have a Zoo something or other from Patterson. I've got quite a few Patterson books, which I'm going to go through the ones I've already read and unhaul them one of these days. I have to go up in the other room and dig through all the crap that's in that room and empty out the shelves. But before I do that, I gotta move stuff around in this room because I want to bring the shelves down here and put them in this room. It's a whole thing. It'll be a while. This one's called After the Dance by Lori Johnson. Just says fiction on the side. It's her game. Here's my deal. I'm not knocking myself out to find Mr. Right anymore. As far as this 30-something sister is concerned, it's now about reciprocity, not romance. A brother doesn't have to whisper promises he won't keep. All he needs to do is respect my boundaries, rock my world. Then step before anyone gets too attached. That's why the last man I need is my next-door neighbor, Carl. But he's breaking all the rules. Who does Faye think she's fooling? She and I both know all about her game. She and I both know all her talk about game playing is little more than a big front. Besides, playing by the rules won't keep us from falling in love. And if what's been going on between us lately is any indication, I'm thinking at least one of us is already halfway there. With its southern charm and hilarious take on relationships, this book is a must-read. So, it's by Lori Johnson. It says the real seduction starts after the dance. I like the cover. I wish you could see it better. I have really crappy lighting. But I like how it kind of looks like a bridge all lit up. Anyway, there's that. Sounds like a romance. I don't read a lot of romances, but on occasion, it's alright. Mrs. Jeffries Reveals Her Art. A Victorian Mystery by Emily Brightwell. I have heard of the Mrs. Jeffries series, and I know there's a whole slew of them. I haven't read any of them yet, so since I saw this one there, it was the only one that was in the box, I thought, why not? I'll pick it up. Mrs. Jeffries Reveals Her Art. Okay, painted into a corner. The artist model never even showed up to Neville Grant's house, nor was expected, according to the cranky Mr. Grant. But with all of his ranting and raving, it was hard getting a straight answer. Then one of Grant's house guests suddenly dies right before their eyes, and it's no accident. Now Mrs. Jeffries has to work double time to find the missing model and the killer. And she'll have to get her whole staff involved before someone else becomes the next subject. I'm not going to read the rest of these. Let's see. Does it show how many books? Oh, of course, they're all separate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's at least 11 other books, it looks like. If I look here, it looks like there's 12 titles, including this one as the last in the list. So, this may be book 12. I don't know. I'll try it, and if I like it, I will look for more. This one is The Merchant of Menace, a Jane Jeffrey mystery by Jill Churchill. It's got a little kitty cat there on the front. Looking down a chimney. It's beginning to look a lot like murder. 'Tis the season to be jolly, and suburban mom Jane Jeffrey is in a mad scramble to finish her cookie baking and household chores before her teenage kids arrive home. Also expected are 2 moms, both the late husband's mother and the disapproving mater of Detective Mel Van Dyne, Jane's significant other. The kitchen is a disaster zone. The dog has decorated the house with hair, and the ear-splitting racket coming from the neighbor's tacky music-making Christmas display is driving Jane crazy. Now she has to get the green icing out of her hair and be ready to host her post-caroling dinner party. This sounds like fun! I didn't even get down to what the mystery's about. But I don't want to read that whole second paragraph. I'm going to put this over here, or toss this over on my Christmas book pile. Hey, landed in the bag, yes! Doesn't take much. There's a classic, Bleak House by Charles Dickens. I've already DNF'd it once. Dickens and I have a hate-hate relationship. I am determined to read a Dickens novel at some point in my life. I've already read A Christmas Carol, but that doesn't count because that's like reading the movie, because most of the movies are so close to what's written that, you can pretty much quote it word for word. So, one of these days I'm going to get through a Dickens novel. But like I said, I've already DNF'd this one once. But now I own a copy. So now I don't have to feel guilty about tying up the library's copy forever and then not getting anywhere. I have The Awakening by Kate Chopin. Oh, The Awakening and Selected Stories of Kate Chopin. So more classics. Pioneering short novel of feminist fiction as a sympathetic portrayal of a woman's discovery of the stifling bonds of her marriage and the strength of her own sexuality. First published in 1899, it shocked the popular taste of the day, outraged the official morality, and destroyed the author's reputation and career. Good for you! Good for you! I just finished The Tenet of Wildfell Hall, and I know Books with Emily Fox, they were doing it as part of the book club, or part of her book club, Patreon book club, or just classics. I'm not entirely sure, but I know she was reading it for March and April, and I was going to read it anyway, so I went ahead and read it. So we'll see. It was all right. It was, feminist in its way. The main character, Helen, left her husband and took her child and moved away because he was abusive to her. He treated her horribly. And when she moved away, this guy in town, kind of madly fell in love with her. And she was like, no, because technically she's still married. Even though she was telling people she was a widow, she's technically still married. And this guy, Mr. Markham, who is just absolutely head over heels in love with this girl, gets jealous because Mr. Lawrence is talking to her in the garden in the evening, and he only hears part of the conversation, and of course misconstrued, because he doesn't know who Mr. Lawrence is, but he thinks, he knows Mr. Lawrence because they live in the same town, but he doesn't know his relation to Helen, and he thinks that he's trying to take Helen away from him. Not exactly what's going on. I don't want to say too much. Helen ends up going back to her husband for a little while because he was ill. Stuff happens, blah, blah, blah. But, it was kind of groundbreaking in its way because this woman had the nerve to stand up for herself and leave her abusive, asshole husband. Good for her. We need more women to do that. We need more women to stand up against abuse. I'm a domestic violence survivor. I stood up and my asshole of an ex-husband went to jail. Maximum penalty for first offense. Domestic violence was only, 6 months or whatever, but I stood my ground. And there's a lot of women who don't. And a lot of women who end up staying because they don't know how to get out. I stayed longer than I should have because I didn't know how to get out. Finally got out. And it was well worth it. Anyway, tangent aside, I have Zorba the Greek by, who's this by? Nikos Kazantzakis? Kazantzakis. Kazantzakis. Kazantzakis? There it is. You can see it. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I don't speak Greek, unfortunately. Fiery novel of modern pagan, alive with energy, earthy, and Rabelaisian. It's also got a movie. Anthony Quinn was in it. Zorba the Greek is the first novel published in America by the great Greek writer Nikos Kazantzakis. I'm trying. Nikos K. Its setting is the Mediterranean island of Crete. Its hero, a magnificently vital man whose years have not dimmed his delight in the pleasures of the flesh or the wonder and mystery of the universe. Steeped in the sensual joy, the anguish, brutality, and glory of life, Zorba is one of the great creations of modern fiction. Interesting! Selected writings of Emerson. Good old Ralph Waldo. A lot of essays. I'm not a big essay reader, so maybe this will, if I dip my toe in every so often. Let's see, we got Nature, The American Scholar, An Address, The Transcendentalist, The Lord's Supper, Essays, the first series, Essays, the second series, Plato or the Philosopher, Napoleon or the Man of the World, English Traits, 1 through 19, Conduct of Life, Society and Solitude, Farming, and some poems. Ezra Ripley, D.D., Emancipation in the British West Indies, Fugitive Slave Law, John Brown, The Emancipation Proclamation, Thoreau, Abraham Lincoln, and Carlyle. There's not very many poems. Anyway, I was hoping it'd be more poetry, but it's mostly essays. Oh well, such is life. This one is The Star Witch by Linda Winstead Jones, because of course they had to put the barcode and then black it out over the name. Unfortunately, this is a book 3 in a series, and I didn't find the other 2. I'm going to keep a lookout for them. If I can't find them in a reasonable amount of time, I'll probably end up not DNFing, unhauling, but I thought it sounded interesting. It says the Sun Witch and the Moon Witch introduce the Fine Sisters, 3 different and engrossing witches coming into their own. Here, the eldest wonders how she can remain chaste with a sensuous enemy tempting her. And it's got words I can't pronounce, so I'm not going to read anymore. But this is the 3rd book, so obviously Sun Witch and Moon Witch are the first 2. I'm hoping that I can track them down. She steeled her heart against love, but it's in the stars. So this is a Berkeley sensation romance, so I don't know how hard it'll be to track it down. Maybe I'll find it at the book sale, since it came from the library. I have The Carousel by Richard Paul Evans. He's the one that wrote The Christmas Box, and a whole bunch of other Christmassy books. We want to believe we have control of our lives, but we don't. We can't even promise our time. The best we can promise is our hearts, and the most we can hope for is to live each moment as if it's our last. Is this a Christmassy book? Or is this just like an inspirational... This is the love story of Michael Keddington and Faye Murrow. A love story that takes place not in seclusion but in the real world, with the challenges that all lovers must face. No relationship is an island. There are threads that bind us and pull us at There are threads that bind us and pull at our lives. The demands of family, of friends, of work, and social obligation. And there are times the pull of those threads becomes greater than the strength of the relationship. In these times, no matter how much 2 people love each other, a relationship must grow strong or be torn apart. The Carousel is about what happens when life doesn't turn out the way that we planned. Beyond a love story, it is about faith, loyalty, and sacrifice. My hope is that you, and those with whom you share this book, might find the message of this story meaningful and applicable to your own life, and that in some way you might feel changed. And then it's signed by the author under that. I don't know, a lot of his books are Christmas oriented, but this one doesn't sound like it is. It sounds like it's a inspirational family drama, probably. Doesn't say. Anyway, there's that. I've read some of his other books and enjoyed them, so I thought, why not? I hadn't read that one yet. This one is Mrs. Jeffries Takes a Second Look. I have a Mrs. Jeffries book. I got 2 of them. This one is like, I want to say like second in this series or something. Oh, wow. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 30 novels and 2 anthologies, and this is one of the anthologies apparently. So this is like 3 of the novels then, right? Yeah. Take stock on the ball and on the trail. So books 4, 5, and 6. And somebody was helpful and wrote, let me get this turned the right direction, 4, 5, and 6 in here, but I didn't realize that's what that meant. So basically I now have 4 of the Mrs. Jeffries novels, so hopefully I like them. This one is The History of American Dress, Early American Dress, the Colonial and Revolutionary Periods. Warwick, Pitts, and Wyckoff. So, nonfiction, historical, and I didn't pick it up for me. I picked this up because my brother does reenacting around American Revolution to War of 1812. He's part of a canon crew, so I thought he might enjoy this. His wife also does a little bit of that stuff. So I thought, they might enjoy it. So I went ahead and picked it up. Of course, if they don't like it, it can always go back to the library and be put in a book sale. Let me move this stack back over here. And now we'll get in the bag. Ugh. Okay, first out of the bag we have Poison Study by Maria V. Snyder. I think this is the first in this series. I think this is the one I've read. And I really, really liked it. And I haven't continued for some reason. So now I'm going to have to probably reread it to know what the heck's going on. So I'm glad I was able to pick this one up. It's really, really good. I highly recommend it. Yelena is about to be executed for murder, but she's offered a reprieve where she eats the best meals, has rooms in the palace, and risks assassination by anyone trying to kill the commander of Ixia. So she chooses to become a food taster, and the chief of security leaves nothing to chance, deliberately feeds her butterfly's dust, and only by appearing for her daily antidote will she delay an agonizing death from the poison. So yeah, it's really, really good. Really good. And I don't tend to go that crazy over fantasy all that much. This one's one to get crazy about. It was good. I have Finding Audrey by Sophie Kinsella. She's the author of the Shopaholic books, which I have not read. Audrey wears dark glasses all the time, even in the house. She almost never goes out, doesn't talk to new people, and finds making eye contact to be nearly impossible. Then one day she meets Linus. Linus is her brother's friend and a sensitive spirit with whom she can talk through her fears. He makes her laugh and doesn't leave her feeling as if she's being judged. As their friendship deepens, Audrey's recovery gains momentum, and she and Linus begin to develop feelings for each other. But how can they have a future together when Audrey hasn't dealt with her past? And how could anyone ever love her once they've seen her at her worst? So, I don't know. We'll see. I pretty much picked it up because I recognized the author's name, even though I haven't read anything by said author. Let me pull a pile of these out. Some of these I just picked up because the titles were interesting. Some of them I picked up because I recognized the author's name. And some of them, I said, what the heck, I'll pick it up. This one I picked up because of the author's name. I recognize Lisa Gardner as a mystery thriller author. This is The Neighbor. Sure, all the blurbs on the back are for other books. He is closer than you think. This is what happened. It was a case guaranteed to spark a media feeding frenzy. A young mother, blonde and pretty, disappears without a trace from her South Boston home, leaving behind her 4-year-old daughter as the only witness and her handsome, secretive husband as the prime suspect. I'm not reading any farther. That's enough. History on Trial, Culture Wars and the Teaching of the Past by Gary B. Nash, Charlotte Crabtree, and Ross E. Dunn. Another nonfiction. This one sounded like it might be interesting. History is hot. If Cecil B. DeMille was correct in arguing that there is no such thing as bad publicity, then historians ought to welcome the excitement. History is unceasingly controversial because it provides so much of the substance for the way a society defines itself and considers what it wants to be. So, might be interesting. I feel like I don't read enough in the nonfiction genre, or more than a genre, it's like a whole bunch of genres, but you know what I mean. I have 2 of the Amber Brown books, but I'm thinking these might be too young for my niece. It's bad I didn't find them like a year or 2 ago. But I have I, Amber Brown, and Amber Brown is Feeling Blue. If nothing else, I think the covers are cute. And so it's just excerpts from the book on the back, so I can't tell you what they're about. Other than I'm guessing it's about a little girl named Amber Brown. Found a couple Beverly Cleary books, which made me really excited because I loved these as a kid. I don't know if I've read these 2 in particular, but I loved her books. I have The Mouse and the Motorcycle and Muggy Maggie. And of course, they don't tell you anything on the back. This just has a list of books. I know I've read some of the Ramona books. I don't know if I read Ralph S. Mouse or if I read Mouse and the Motorcycle. I read one of the Mouse books. And I feel like I've read some of the Henry books. Because there's Beezus and Ramona, Henry and Beezus, Henry Huggins, Ribsy, that was a good one. These aren't even in any kind of order. They're just kind of listed. I don't know. But I thought that was exciting because, Beverly Cleary, Blast from the Past. This one I actually read recently, but I picked it up because it's a Newbery book. This is from the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler by E.L. Konigsberg. And I just read it, I don't know, December or January, recently. It was pretty good. I liked it. The little girl and her brother run away, and they hide in the museum. Was it the Metropolitan Museum? The Metropolitan Museum of Art. And they hide in there and live there for like a week or so and solve a mystery while they're in there. So it was pretty cool. These are the P.C. Hawk Mysteries. The Surfing Corpse by Paul Zindel. I recognize the author's name. I don't know if I've read any of his books. P.C. and Mackenzie's junior class trip ends in disaster when practically all the kids see classmate Timmy Warner plunge to his death over a 300-foot waterfall. But soon after the funeral, Mrs. Warner's strange behavior sends P.C. and Mackenzie to Los Angeles, where they follow a twisting trail of clues involving a mysterious surfer, a murderous ghost, and of course, really good actors. Surf's up, you're dead. That would be one hell of a class trip, watching your classmate go over the waterfall and die. This one's called The Active Enzyme Lemon Freshened Junior High School Witch. The Active Enzyme Lemon Freshened Junior High School Witch by E.W. Hildick. I had to pick it up for a title like that. I hope it doesn't let me down. Cover's pretty nice. I like the cover. Decent illustration. But, I mean, a title like that is amazing. So I'm pretty excited about that one. Sooner or later I'll read it. I got a couple that I guess fall into the classics or possibly literary fiction. I've got The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho and Bel Canto by Anne Patchett. Sticking letters in there that don't belong. I've seen these both on, all kinds of lists for awards and must-reads, and winner of the Orange Prize, National Book Critics Circle Award finalist, winner of Penn Faulkner Award. So this one's won a lot of stuff. National bestseller. Somewhere in South America, at home of the country's vice president, a lavish birthday party is being held in honor of the powerful businessman, Mr. Hosokawa. Roxanne Koss, opera's most revered soprano, has mesmerized the international guests with her singing. It is a perfect evening until a band of gun-wielding terrorists, that escalated quickly, takes the entire party hostage. What begins as a panic, life-threatening scenario slowly evolves into something quite different. A moment of great beauty as terrorists and hostages forge unexpected bonds and people from different continents become compatriots. Friendship, compassion, and the chance for great love lead the characters to forget the real danger that has been set in motion and cannot be stopped. Wow, that sounds like a roller coaster ride. I didn't know what it was about. I believe there's a movie. I don't know. I believe there's a movie. But Bel Canto, that one sounds pretty darn good. The Alchemist. I've read one of Coelho's books. I don't remember which one I read. Celebrating 20th anniversary. Translated by Alan Clark. English version of the Portuguese original. Published in Brazil. So Brazilian Portuguese. I don't remember which one I read. That's bad. I don't think it was this one. Paulo Coelho's enchanting novel has inspired a devoted following. I almost said devoured. I'm tired. Can you tell? Has inspired a devoted following around the world. This story, dazzling in its powerful simplicity and inspiring wisdom, is about an Andalusian shepherd boy named Santiago who travels from his homeland in Spain to the Egyptian desert. Wow, that's quite a trip. In search of a treasure buried in the pyramids. Along the way, he meets a gypsy woman, a man who calls himself king, and an alchemist, all of whom point Santiago in the direction of his quest. No one knows what the treasure is or if Santiago will be able to surmount the obstacles along the way. But what starts out as a journey to find worldly goods turns into a discovery of the treasure found within. Lush, evocative, and deeply humane, the story of Santiago is an eternal testament to the transforming power of our dreams and the importance of listening to our hearts. This is not the one I read. I want to say I read The Devil and Miss Prim is the one I read. Wish there was a list of his books. Not just pictures of the covers, but like an actual list. I didn't read Veronica Decides to Die. That's the other really big named one that I know I've heard about before. I think I read The Devil with Miss Prim. And was this the last of the stack? Okay, the last one is Recipes from Grace Chapel Inn. 100 simple and delicious recipes. From the editors of Guideposts. It's a cookbook. I had to pick it up. I have a humongous collection of cookbooks. I love cookbooks. I like the way this is set up. Nice big print. Food is symbolic of love when words are inadequate. That's a good quote. So apparently Grace Chapel Inn is a fictional bed and breakfast. Blah, 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 blah. And this is a collection of recipes based on that. Ooh. Let's see. First recipe. Right off the bat, I want to make it. Jane's Peach Strawberry Stuffed French Toast. And see, this is what I mean. I like how it's, good size print. It's nice and clean. This is a nice looking... Can I get this to where you can actually read any of it? There's ingredient list. Can you read that? Brioche or challah bread. What you need for the fillings and the batter and... Anyway, let me try. I don't know if you can read this or not. There's the directions. I'll hold this up here for a few seconds so you can take a look at it in case you want to write it down or something. There's the rest of it. So there you go, free recipe included. Apple pancakes, topsy-turvy French toast à l'orange, huevos rancheros, orange bread, cranberry orange muffins, honey muffins, cream of pumpkin soup, cheesy broccoli bake, New Year's Day Hoppin' John, latkes, Jane's Easy Beef Stroganoff, beef and green bean dinner. Looks like a pretty good variety pumpkin cake with lemon glaze. I never would have thought to put pumpkin and lemon together. Curious. And it starts with a yellow cake mix. Interesting. Black Russian cake, Kentucky pecan cake, some different kinds of cookies, Scottish shortbread, sugar cookies, some dips, apple butter. Yeah, that's got some stuff in there. It sounds pretty darn good. Put this one on the cookbook shelf. Or in one of the cookbook bins because I don't have enough shelf space. Ouch. I just stuck my hand in something that it shouldn't have stuck it in. Okay. So that is this haul. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27 for the one I put over there. It's 27 books. Not too bad. I wasn't sure how many it was, really, because there's just so many. But, so they all sound so good. And I've been wanting to read more classics, so I picked up some more classics. I've picked up a couple nonfictions that sounded pretty good. I got another cookbook. Can't go wrong with a cookbook. So, now I just have to wait until the library book sale. Put these in a different bag. This one's a bigger bag. Now I just have to wait for the library book sale. And I'll have another haul then. I was a little bit bad today and ordered some stuff from Book Outlet. Not terribly bad, though. I only ordered 6 books. It was a buy 2, get 1 free sale, plus you got double reward points for everything you bought. And if you spend $30, you get free shipping. Well, I spent $35 and got 6 books. You can't beat that. If I go any taller... Yep, I knew it. I'm blocking the view. But the big book's on the bottom. I want the big book first. So there's that coming. I figured those are my birthday gift to myself. because for those who've been following me for a while, you probably are aware, or probably have forgotten, that my birthday is in May. So not too far along from here, or not too far away from here. So I figured I'd treat myself. And all 6 are classics that match a series I've already got started. So I thought, why not? And then I got an email today from Publirati. And I was offered a review copy of a book. So I said, sure, send it on. It sounded good. So there's that coming. I already heard back saying it will have it in the mail this week. So that's coming. There, see, bigger bag, and it is filled to the brim. Ugh. Whew, did you hear that thud? That was the bag of books hitting the floor. So anyway, there's that. I suppose I could put my Amazon wish list in the description box if you want it. I mean, you know, birthdays are birthdays. I'm going to be 50 this year. Doesn't seem possible. But here we are, 50 this year. And I thought, you know, I'm going to treat myself and get a few books. So I did. Can't beat that sale. I wish I would have more money so I could have bought more of them in that classic series, but that's okay. 3 of them are Jane Austen. I already have Pride and Prejudice from that series. And then I got 3 other ones because I already had Phantom of the Opera. 2 of them are horror books, and 1 is children's adventure. It's one I read in my children's lit class and absolutely loved it. And I've always loved the movie based on it. So that's all I'm going to say about them for now. So that they're a little bit more of a surprise when I actually get the box and go, oh, what's in this box from Book Outlet? Let's do an unboxing. I know I don't sound like that normally, but you know how it is. So that's going to wrap it up for now. This is a pretty long video. I mean, we're at almost 43 minutes, and by the time I get done talking, we're going to be probably at an hour. Anyway, that's pretty much it for now. And remember to do all the YouTube things. Comment, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell icon for notifications. Of course, I'm not entirely sure it does anything, because I have noticed that most of the people I'm actually subscribed to and have the notification bell thingy clicked, they're not showing up in my feed. So if you're not seeing me in your feed and you actually want to see my videos, try the notification bell and cross your fingers and hope it works. But I've noticed a lot of the people I had been watching, I just thought maybe they, you know, some of them were on breaks because they'd been known to take breaks before. And then randomly, a video will pop up. And I'm like, oh, I forgot about them because they haven't been in my feed for so long. Still shows me subscribed, so I don't know. And yet I watch one random video, and then my whole feed is full of either from the same person or similar videos, similar type of videos. I mean, okay, I like my true crime, but I don't want every video in my feed to be true crime, you know? Although I am obsessed with the Pam Hupp case. I might do a video on that later. Especially if I can get a hold of a copy of Bone Deep, which is the book that the defense attorney for Russ Faria wrote about the case. If you don't know about this case, I highly suggest you watch the Dateline episode, The Thing About Pam. There's also a mini-series on NBC. I watched it through the Peacock app. That's called The Thing About Pam, which is based on the case, but they kind of take a more comic view of it. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it, but Renee Zellweger is excellent as Pam. They did her really, the makeup and everything is really good, and based on the videos I've seen of the real Pam, she's got her mannerisms and everything down. So Renee Zellweger knocked it out of the park. I will say that. But anyway, is there anything else? I'm trying to think. I got a stack of library books if you want to see what I got from the library. But I'll have more probably either tomorrow or Friday, because I'll probably have more show up to be picked up tomorrow. And I know I'm going into town on Friday, so I'll probably swing by the library then. Do you want a library book video? Is that something anybody is interested in? I don't know. Anyway, you don't have enough free space in your OneDrive. Well, why are you interrupting my video to tell me that? Psh, crazy computer. Okay, so I've already said my spiel. Comment, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell icon if you want to be notified, blah, blah, blah. So I guess I'll leave you here. And, hey, it's only 46 minutes. Woohoo! See you in the next one. Bye-bye.